Welcome to Dodgers Dawgs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter joined by Mark Watkins. I am each and every Tuesday. Mark, walk me off a cliff here, man. It's been a rough 4 games in a row. Another rough start last night. The Dodgers tried to climb back a little bit. But when you get down 7-0, it's just really hard.
Yeah, it is. It's, they're going through a very frustrating stretch, of course, and the pitching staff they just haven't been getting the job done. Obviously, the offense didn't do the job yesterday either, but unfortunately, it seems every season they go through a little stretch like this. But I'm still confident they'll turn it around once they get Glasnow and Snell back, that'll help a lot. It's just one of those things in baseball. It's just a little rough stretch, I think, for them.
So just throw it out there, see what people's thoughts are. I think we know what our thoughts are, but is this just a rough stretch, or is this just kind of does this indicate that this team has problems?
I really don't think so. I think once they get more of their pitchers healthy, as I was saying, and they're not getting some starters going deep in games, so they're not taxing the bullpen so much, because they're really taxing the bullpen. This is they can't keep going like this. They have the most pitching appearances, by the bullpen in Major League Baseball. They have 4 guys who've pitched are in the top 45 in appearances out of the bullpen. So they're really, really taxing the bullpen. So this is unsustainable to keep going like this. They need their starters to pitch deeper into games, 5-6 innings at least. They're rotating guys in and out, obviously, and there's a few more guys that I'd love to have back, and hopefully they'll be back in the next month or two.
So we covered a bunch of guys yesterday on our live show with Austin, and let me actually get this on the board, and let me get it to where you can see it here, Mark. Let me start the virtual camera and click over. We had all sorts of issues trying to get on the air here, so let me click that back over. This is a young man. His name is Logan Boyer. We did not cover him yesterday. I don't know why. He should have been like the first guy that we covered. So we were talking about guys that might be able, that, the Dodgers are going to need some bullpen hands. So we're talking Noah Davis, and maybe they could make Bobby Miller a bullpen guy. We talked about Ben Harris and Jack Little, and hey, maybe even like a Jackson Ferris or a Peter Hubeck, getting creative that way, or a Jared Karros if he starts pitching well. For some reason, I skirted right over Logan Boyer, who's been like one of the best pitchers that Oklahoma City's had all year in relief. This dude's 97. He has the big-time cutter. He is a ferocious competitor, super cool dude, and he's had a great year. So I wanted to make sure before we went too far in today's show, I wanted to apologize for missing on Logan Boyer yesterday on our show, because this guy's really good. What do you see here from of course, and 2, he's been hurt a lot. He came out and he was smoking hot last year, got hurt. He was hurt all before that out of San Diego State. He was even hurt at San Diego State. But when Logan Boyer has been healthy, he has been absolute dynamite. So he's another guy the Dodgers could draw from.
Yeah, he's exciting. I haven't heard much about him, honestly, and he looks like he has a really good pitch mix there. The Dodgers have seemed to be reluctant to start the major league clock on some of these guys and put them on the active roster, but I think going forward they may need to add a couple of guys like that. They've kind of been bringing in journeymen, so to speak, guys that they were cut by other teams like Matt Sauer and guys like that, but they may need to dig into their minor league depth there and bring some of these guys up and put them on the active roster.
So I just want to make sure and get to Logan Boyer. We talked about everybody but him, and we got done, and I was like, that was kind of fun. It's like, what the hell am I doing? How did I not mention Logan Boyer? Come on, man. You're better than that, right? So, okay, so we could sit here for days upon days. I thought Jack Dreyer really, really got just kind of some bad breaks last night. I thought the ball to Max Muncy, nothing against Max Muncy, but if you have a guy that has more athletic ability, if you will, that can cut that ball off a little bit more, I think that's a play that could be made. Obviously, you had the Hae-Sung Kim deal in center field where he didn't see it. Jack walked a guy in the first inning. That's on him. He also gave up a hit or two, and so that's on him too. But I thought it was just really bad luck for Jack Dreyer.
Yeah, I agree, and that's going to happen from time to time. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, these guys are really getting taxed too. So with all the appearances that they're making, obviously Kirby Yates went on the DL. He was 38-year-old guy, and he's been pitching so much that just might have been too much for him too. And they need to really figure out a way to not tax these guys in the bullpen so much. I don't know if Dreyer's feeling it, if it's if he's getting a little tired, but yeah, he had some tough breaks there too.
Yeah. Atlanta Nat goes to a theme that you could go with Andy Bonda. You could have a theme with Alex Vesia. The stinking home run ball, man. I mean, he gave up 2 home runs last night. Anthony Bonda gave up a home run his last time out. He's given up, I think, 5 or 6 this year. I think 7 home runs maybe. Don't quote me on that. It's somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Alex Vesia, I think, has given up 5 home runs. So what's up with the home run ball from the bullpen guys? That's been the biggest issue to me.
I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know if it's the other teams are their scouts have maybe identified something where they're able to key in on certain pitches that they're throwing this year, but they obviously need to make adjustments to prevent that going forward.
So just kind of give me your assessment of I mean, it's kind of in shambles right now because of injury and then all the usage, but just your overall assessment of where the pitching staff's at right now.
Yeah, it's kind of in shambles, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. Yeah, as I mentioned, they have the starters just aren't being consistent at all. Like the only one who's really been consistent is Yamamoto out of all of their starters, and some of that's due to injuries and other part of it's just ineffectiveness. They haven't really. I still expect they're gonna get on a roll at some point. They're talented pitchers, and then the same situation with the bullpen is there's very few guys down there that have pitched consistently well. So Scott has pitched well, and he's been consistent, and Kasparius and Dreyer have been pretty consistent. The other guys, not so much. I mean, between injuries and just inconsistency, the staff has really been disappointing.
Yeah, 23 runs against the Angels, who have not been a good team. I don't think there's any. We're not going to sit here and dwell on a cesspool of negativity. We're going to move right on and get to some bright points too. But you got to cover the parts of it aren't good when you lose 4 in a row. You lose one of the Diamondbacks. You get swept at home by the Angels, who aren't good, haven't been a good offensive team. You got to at least cover it. So we are going to cover it and talk about it, maybe some of the issues. But 23 runs over the weekend to the Angels. That's alarming.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that was hard to take, and it wasn't like it was rookies or journeymen starting. I mean, Gonsolin, May, neither one of them had a good start. Kershaw obviously coming back. I expect he'll do better, in subsequent starts, but he didn't pitch very well. So and they were short starts, so then they brought in the bullpen and taxed them even further. So it was a rough weekend.
Yeah, it was. And, it was. Yeah. Bright spots though. 19 runs scored Thursday night. So the offense has shown sparks. Pages has been a spark. Hae-Sung Kim, I know he went 0 for 4 last night, and he had the fly ball that he missed. But he had reached base in 9 straight plate appearances at one point. Freddie Freeman continues to rake. Not a good start for May, but all that. But there were some bright spots. There are some bright spots as we move on, even though you've lost 4 in a row.
Yeah, absolutely. They're getting some contributions from guys that we didn't necessarily expect to get contributions from, which is a good thing. Rookies and young players. Pages is off to a really good start. He struggled a little in the beginning, but he's locked in now. And Hae-Sung Kim, Rushing, Dreyer, Kasparius, all these guys have contributed. And despite all this, the Dodgers are still in first place. So It seems like a replay of last year, when they just had so many pitching injuries. If you look at their IL, they could have a really good staff just on their IL right now.
Oh, so,
and they're. It's not like the guys on offense are struggling. They're not like they're taking the year off or anything after a championship. I mean, Freddie Freeman's hitting really well. Will Smith is really hitting well. Mookie's doing pretty well. So it's not like not like they're just taking it easy or anything, hangover from the celebration or anything like that. So, I mean, their offense seems fine. I mean, obviously they didn't score much last night, but Fott seems to have their number. But
well, he's good for one.
Yeah, he's a good pitcher. So I'm not worried about their offense. Their offense is doing pretty well, but it's just the pitching staff has really struggled.
Yeah, and just got to figure out a way to get people healthy. So, first of all, I know you kind of have a maybe out there in the weeds type of maybe a philosophy on some of the things that are happening, but your thoughts on Austin Barnes, Chris Taylor, and whether you think just losing them, just the sadness, not that anybody disagrees with the decision because it's business, but just kind of the sadness of seeing two Dodgers legends go. I mean, has that weighed on anybody, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you and I discussed that a little bit, and I wonder, I mean, they're professionals and they're supposed to not, let these kind of things bring them down. But I wonder just a little bit if it did have an effect on them in some way. It's got to be, a little bit demoralizing. These guys are, they've been friends and teammates for so long, Austin Barnes and Chris Taylor. And obviously it's sad to see those guys go, even for fans, but for players too, who've, been in the dugout with them every day, and they're close friends. And you wonder if it, might have demoralized them just a little bit and brought the team down, the team energy down a little bit over the last 4 days.
Yeah, I know you weren't happy with the umpiring last Friday, were you? Is that to say the least?
Yeah, it was really bad. I was surprised. But I mean, more calls went the Dodgers' way. I think he was calling them bad both ways for sure. So, I mean, it's the announcers and the players. I mean, I saw their mouths drop open at some of the calls that this guy was making. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
it was really bad.
This is absolutely therapeutic for me to get on here and talk about the Dodgers after they lose or they're in a bad patch or whatever, because I always talk myself into being so pumped. Like, I messaged Jared Karros today, and he's been struggling a little bit. Not going to sugarcoat that. I just sent him a message, hey, man, good luck tonight. Go shove. Can't wait to watch you shove tonight. Just support, so you kind of turn around, you get all pissed about it, you wake up, so you're still pissed. Then you talk about it over some coffee, and then you're ready to go kick some ass again. That's kind of the way that I end up as I do these podcasts. So as we finish the Dodgers segment of this, are you concerned moving forward, or are you just, hey, this is a patch, let's get over it, let's get everybody healthy, we're fine?
I mean, I would say my biggest concern that I touched on is the way they're taxing the bullpen right now. And as I said, it's not sustainable, but I think I'm not overly concerned. I think once they get Snell back and get Glasnow back, and maybe put a couple of the starters that they have into long relief roles, that'll help. And I mean, they're so talented.
Say that again. That was a good point.
Oh, just once they get Glasnow and Snell back, and maybe Gonsolin or May or guys like that go into long relief roles, and eat up some of the innings that way. I think that's going to help. I hadn't
thought about that. That's a good point, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not overly concerned going forward. They have so much talent. And as I mentioned, they have, and they'd have a great pitching staff just from the guys they have on the IL right now. So, and later on in the year, when they get Kopech back, Trinan back, and Phillips back, presumably they will. I hope they will. Those guys will be fresher later in the season. Yeah. So, I mean, that'll help too. So I'm not overly concerned. There's so much talent on this roster and in the minor leagues that I think they'll be fine. It's very similar, as I said, to what they went through last year, and they had the same record as last year up until I think the day before yesterday. So I don't know, the one game may have made a difference, but they had the exact same record as they started off with last year. So it's baseball. I mean, it's just baseball, that teams go through streaks like this, and no matter how talented they are, and it gets frustrating, and everybody wants to find scapegoats. I know fans, if you look at social media, like, oh, it's this guy, that guy, whatever, and Roberts is doing a terrible job, all that. But it's just baseball. They go through stretches like this, no matter how good they are.
I think what I took out of what you just said that made me feel the best was that when you do get your starters healthy, there's a cascading effect of that, because then you have guys like Dustin May maybe Tony Gonsolin that can help your bullpen. And then while you're actually adding numbers to your bullpen, you're getting your high-end bullpen guys back like Evan Phillips, Michael Kopech, Blake Trinan, and you're getting them fresh. Like it's the beginning of the season for them, and they're going to have fresh arms going down the stretch. So kind of what I'm hearing right there is just kind of advance and survive, stay in first place until you can get to that situation. And then, I mean, it's almost like whenever you have injuries, you have these young guys that come up, and it's almost better for you because these young guys get experience. And then now whenever the older guys come back, now you have the young guys as quality depth and the older guys back. So what I heard there was you're going to add to your bullpen by adding to your starters, and then all your older high leverage guys are actually going to be very fresh. That was exciting for me to hear. Now, I hadn't thought about that in a while.
Well, good. I'm glad. But it's definitely, and a lot of these guys, it could be somewhat of a blessing in disguise if they're fresh late in the season and in the playoffs, because it's a long season. And guys like, say, Clayton Kershaw, who just made his first start of the year, if he had pitched all year, he would have been gassed by the end of the season in the playoffs. So definitely it'll help having him, fresh towards the end of the season. And Ohtani, I mean, assuming he comes back and pitches, if he only pitches maybe half of a season, that could be huge for them.
I hadn't even put Ohtani in the equation yet. I just had kind of not even thought about him pitching. So there you go. There's another one. So this is why I like to do this show with you, Mark, because by the end of it, like I said, I'm ready to go kick some ass in this next game today, right? I mean, we kind of work all the way through it over our morning coffee. So, hey, we're going to take our trip down the farm now. I know the first guy that you wanted to talk about was one of my favorites. This is Mike Sirota. Dive into Mike Sirota. I know he has been killing it.
Right. I mean, I don't know what else this guy can do. I read the other day that he leads all minor league hitters with a 216 WRC, 216 plus. Wow. And out of 963 minor leaguers, he's number one. So he's just been tearing it up. And, he hasn't missed a beat coming up to the Loons. He was on fire for the Quakes, and he came up to the Loons and just, picked up where he left off. And he's just doing it all. He's got power. He's got speed. He uses the whole field. Very athletic. So, that trade when they made it with Lux, I was thinking, what the heck, trading an established, good major leaguer for a minor leaguer. But they also got I think it was pick number 41 in the draft too. But the Dodgers know what they're doing. They keep proving it over and over. And this guy, he looks like he could be a steal for them.
We're going to talk about another guy in that category here in a minute, Christian Zazueta, who the Dodgers traded for Caleb Ferguson. Zazueta, when they traded, had not even pitched a game in high A ball. And it's like, who in the hell would do that? Well, the Dodgers would. And they're right. Once again, Zaire Hope has slowed down a touch, but I mean, I say that only because he was so hot. It was insane at the beginning of this year. So Zaire Hope.
Yeah, speaking of another guy who they acquired in trade for a major leaguer, basically Michael Busch, who's doing pretty well for the Cubs. But Zaire Hope and Jackson Ferris, they got in that deal, and Hope has been phenomenal. He hits the ball so hard. I saw you post a couple things where his exit velocity on his hits are, over 100 miles an hour. So he's roping the ball, and he's another guy who's got power and speed, and a lot of young athletic outfielders in their minor leagues we've mentioned. Yeah,
another one too, obviously big time, Josue De Paula. He's been absolutely killing it.
Right. Yeah, another guy who can do it all and just has probably the most advanced approach, out of any of their minor league hitters. He's very patient at the plate. He uses the whole field, and he's just got that natural power there like that. And he's going to develop more power as time goes on. But, now that Rushing's in the major leagues, if there's a guy who I think is the gem of the farm system, it's probably him and Mike Sirota right now, I would say. Yeah.
I'll tell you another guy that's very under the radar because he just now started playing his affiliated baseball. One of the most talented players in the entire system. Big, physical, strong, good arm. He has 20 stolen bases. He leads the Quakes in stolen bases. This is a young man the Dodgers drafted out of high school a couple of years ago. Jaron Elkins, put this dude on your radar, man. This guy is a treasure trove of tools. Now, you don't know how the execution is going to play out, but a treasure trove of tools.
Right. And when I went out to the Quakes game earlier this year, I saw him, and he's really impressive when you look at him physically. I mean, you don't see it on the video here as much, but he's built like a running back. And I actually looked it up and saw that he was a running back in high school. So he has just that thick build, big thighs and everything, and he's very athletic. But he's doing it all as well, hitting the ball really well. He's getting stolen bases, and he's an exciting player to watch.
He is a very exciting. Another player that is kind of under the radar in the Dodgers system, but has a really sweet hitting tool. Of course, it's easy to be under the radar in the Dodgers system because there's so many great players. But this is Samuel Munoz right here. I'm not sure why I played that clip. Sweet swinging Sammy right here, man. Left-handed stroke. That you've gotten to see that thing in person. Just makes hitting look way too easy at times, doesn't he?
Right, yeah, and as you mentioned, he just has one of the sweetest swings in the system right now, and he's another really impressive hitter who's been doing a great job for him.
No doubt, Samuel Munoz, very much so an under the radar type of guy to watch out for, and so we talked about it a little bit last night, but it deserves an encore. There's no doubt about it, and that is if I can get to the video of last night. Give me just a second right here because I want to make sure and get to the right video right here. 2 hits last night for Kendall George. They look both just like that, hitting the ball on the ground, using his 80 grade speed, 6 stolen bases. I'm not ever sure I've ever heard of a game like Kendall George had yesterday.
Yeah, he just has blazing speed. I mean, he may be the fastest of all their minor leaguers. I would think that he is, but he's so exciting to watch. We've talked about it before. I love guys with that type of speed, and he's so much fun to watch. If he can manage to develop some power, I think he's a legitimate major league prospect. Even if he doesn't, I think he could be a contributor. Yeah,
because that speed is what's called a carrying tool, meaning if he doesn't hit the ball for a lot of power, his speed can carry through that. His speed is so good it can carry his other tools that are less developed. And talking about speed, Eduardo Quintero.
Yeah, he's an all-around good player with the power and speed. And, another guy who he looks like he's going to be on the fast track. He's moving up quickly in the minor league. So
he is doing a great job. So I'm not sure I've ever seen the Dodgers outfield in terms of prospects. We're not click back just to you and me, be in a better spot than it is right now. I mean, you're talking about Suede Paula, Zaire Hope, Mike Sirota. You're talking about Kendall George. You're talking about Eduardo Quintero. And then at AA, you got Jose Ramos, who's having as good of a year as anybody, who's leading the Texas League in home runs. We know how talented Jose Ramos is. So, I mean, put him in that equation. Then Chris Newell and Damon Keith, they're like treasure troves of tools like Jaron Elkins. Now, they're not as refined, but extremely talented. And then you have guys like Esteury Ruiz at the AAA level, very fast. You got Justin Dean. You've got Ryan Ward, who leads the world in hitting. I'm not sure I've ever seen the Dodgers system have this much talent in the outfield.
I haven't. I can't remember a time when they had so much talent in the minor league system. Makes me wonder what the future Dodger outfield on the major league level will be. Obviously Hope and DePaula are high on the list of players who could be in the major leagues. But Eduardo Quintero is another one. He was an infielder, but he's been playing mostly outfield. So, but it's exciting. I mean, they have huge amount of guys down there who could potentially be major league players.
Yeah, and they have a bunch of really nice young shortstop prospects like Yoendry Vargas, Noah Miller, Alex Freeland, Elijah Hainline. I mean, it just goes up and down the list. Even like a guy like Jordan Thompson is very good. So this is a guy that you've probably never heard of. You need to know his name because he impacts the ball, and he's made a big splash. He came to Rancho, beginning of May? This is Myro Shindrick Martinez. Just call him Myro. It's Myro. Myro can hit, dude. Myro can hit.
Yeah, I did. He's a guy who wasn't on my radar at all at the beginning of the season, and I love his name, by the way. But yeah, he's an exciting player to watch too. He seems like he can do it all. I haven't really seen him much defensively, so I don't know how he's rated defensively, but he looks like he can definitely hit.
Yeah, a lot of swing, a lot of lift to that swing. Another guy who just came back here about a month ago is starting to heat up, starting to get into the rhythm of things. That is Jake Geloff. He had a home run on Sunday. And I'm showing you all these opposite field clips because it seems like every ball that he hits is to the opposite field, which means he stays inside the ball. He lets the ball get deep, which means that allows him to see spin and location a little bit better. I really like Jake Geloff in his game, and he's the third baseman. So that's a position that I think the Dodgers are going to be looking for a young guy in the future for.
For sure. He has it seems like an advanced approach at the plate. And as you said, he used the whole field really well, and nice play. It was good defensive play by him there. So, yeah, he could definitely be a possible contributor in the future.
Yeah, too. And not just Oppo, he can do this too. I mean, he can get to the pull side of things. So I really like the hit tool. I like the soft hands, the athletic ability of Jake Geloff at the hot corner. And, hey, I know we talked about him yesterday, but we are going to talk about him however many times that we would like, because this young man absolutely deserves every bit of credit you can possibly give him. Got hit in the eye with a baseball last August. Lost his eyesight in his right eye. Had to go on the shelf. Spent the entire offseason trying to get everything fixed. Still does not have eyesight in his right eye, and has done nothing but just be fantastic for 2025. What a story for Patrick Copen.
Wow, yeah, that's got to be tough. I mean, coming back from a situation like that where, you get hit in the head and lose your eyesight. I mean, just from the mental part of that, it has to be so tough. But he's picked up where he left off, and he's been pitching really well. He's very impressive.
Yeah, he definitely is a Rolodex type of guy. Matter of fact, I put Rolodex alert, and the Dodgers minor league pitching coordinator, Rob Hill, actually retweeted it with Rolodex and exclamation points on it. So I thought that was really cool, as if to say he totally agrees with that. Good outing for Bobby Miller, still 4 walks. You'd like to not see the 4 walks, but he had 3 walks in a row and then overcame it. I think that's the big deal. So good outing for Bobby Miller on Sunday.
Yes, it's good to see him bounce back like that after, a little bit of a shaky start there, and with his control, and to find it and work through it, that says a lot right there. And it's good to see him have a good outing and to overcome a shaky start like that.
It is, because I think that's the hump to climb for him. Hey, we know absolutely. Whenever things are going great, he can do that right there. What's going to happen whenever things start to go downhill? Can he figure it out? Here's a guy that I really like, totally underrated, wonderful young man, friend of the show. He's come on before, and he's just an awesome young man. All-time RBIs leader in the history of Central Michigan, Griffin Lockwood Powell. I know he has impressed you lately.
Yeah, he's another guy who was kind of under the radar, I would say. But you look at, he's a big guy. He's got a thick build, and he's obviously got a lot of natural power. And you see right there, he can pound the ball. So he's been impressing me lately too.
Yeah, no doubt. For he had that walk off. This was his first professional walk off ever. This happened last week. So wow. I thought that was really cool that he had some walk-offs at Central Michigan, but not ever as a professional. So that was cool. Hey, another young man who's really started to heat up for the AA Tulsa Drillers, Sean McLean. Of course, we know about his brother, Matt McLean. He also has another brother that's in A-ball, and so just comes from a lineage of great baseball family. So I know you're super excited to see Sean McLean starting to hit, because I think that's what's going to determine. We know he can play defense. Can Sean McLean hit enough to be a major leaguer? That's the question.
Right. Yeah. He, like you said, comes from a great baseball family. He impressed me in spring training, but he seems like he can do it all. As you said, he's versatile defensively, and he has a good hit tool. So very advanced approach for him too.
Okay, man. That's all the prospects we have to cover today. Final thoughts, anything happen LA Dodger-wise, pitching, bullpen, hitting, Dave Roberts, or anything on the farm that you want to clean up before we get out of here and put a bow on it?
Well, a few other guys that I was gonna, I know we it's hard to cover them all, but Antonio Knowles.
We got time. We got time. Let's go back to him. Let's get to Antonio.
Knowles and Carson Hobbs are both pitching very well.
Let's get to Antonio Knowles. Let's put him on the board because I love Tones. Young man out of Key West. I will never miss an opportunity to brag about him. What you got to say about old Tones? He got the Conkenator. His slider is a big time pitch.
Yeah, definitely. He's been impressing me lately too. The way he's been pitching, and he's on a really good streak, and he has really good stuff. So I'm definitely excited about him too.
Yeah, very good. And he had a very slow start to his season, and really has kind of come on towards the end. And then you wanted, of course, I will go on and on and on about this next young man.
Yeah.
Get out your Rolodex. First couple of pages. I love this guy. Well, front of the Rolodex. Let's put it to you that way. Okay. Carson Hobbs, this dude is big time. Absolutely big time.
Right. Yeah, I know he's one of your favorites, and his ERA is down to 0.69.
He's so competitive.
He's been dominating, and I know you like his demeanor and his his competitiveness on the mound. So yeah, and he has that build. I think I mentioned before, like a Chad Billingsley kind of build. Yeah. So he looks like he'd be durable.
So he had a couple of, like a 2-inning outing the other day, and he's on a certain pitch limit or whatever. And it came down to where he ran out of pitches on his pitch limit, but there was one out left to get. And so they actually took him out because they're pretty strict on their pitch limit, especially early in the season. And he was so freaking mad. I mean, he was not at anybody, just the fact that he himself got to his pitch limit before he got the third out. He went down the ramp, and I mean, he was just so competitively mad that he couldn't see straight. And I was like, woo, let's go, baby. I mean, I was telling you, man, Carson Hobbs has that competitive fire to him. It's the Dalton Rushing deal. It's all over again, just that same competitiveness. And that goes with a big arm too.
Yeah, I mean, you love to see that. I mean, so much of the game is mental, and to have a guy who's that competitive and has that fire, that really goes a long way.
I mean, look at him walking around like, I just threw it south and you out, baby. Go ahead and take a seat in the dugout. I mean, just look at the confidence and the fiery. I love it, man. And the thing about it is, it's not fake. I mean, it's like that actually makes him better. It reminds me of the other Hobbs. Michael Hobbs used to be that way, that the Dodgers lost last year to the Rule 5. I think it was the minor league phase of the Rule 5. But okay, so now final thoughts. Hey, never going to miss a chance to talk about Tones and Carson, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could go on and on about a lot of the minor leaguers, I just think that, they're just, as I mentioned, the Dodgers just going through a rough stretch. So sometimes we got to talk ourselves off the ledge a little bit, and think about the future and all the guys that are on the IL and that are going to be coming back. So, I expect them to bounce back and go through a hot streak, before too long, and, where they win 35 out of 40 or something like that and be back in the driver's seat. So, it'll happen, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh, 35-5 would be nice. Dang. That would be a lot of winning.
30 out of 40, I don't know. But yeah, they'll go on some kind of hot streak, I'm sure, at some point.
Got the Mets and Yankees around the corner. I will say this. I was hoping the Dodgers opened up a 4 or 5 game lead after the stretch that they're on right now. I was really hoping they'd do that, but they haven't. So it is what it is. So, hey, Mark, thank you very much. Great job, man.
All right, Casey, thanks. Have a great day.
For Mark Watkins, I'm Casey Porter. I want to thank all of you wonderful Dodgers dogs out there for tuning in. You are the best, no doubt about it. And as one last reminder, as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.